One Sunday, it was a funny, grey day, heavy and spitting rain, but it was hot too, so that we did not want to be inside at a cinema or anywhere much, and we had coffee after lunch by the Luxembourg, and then went into the gardens to stroll about, to amuse ourselves with the people. There was an old woman selling balloons, and Hester had to buy one, swinging it by its cord in the air like a child, and I bought one of those lemon sucettes on a thin stick, and we walked along with sober little bourgeois families, dressed in their blacks, gloved and furred, staring at us as though we were crazy. Suddenly, the sky seemed to burst over our heads, and the rain came down. Everyone ran for shelter. We were near to the entrance, and there was a rank of taxis just outside, so we got into the first one that was there. "Where shall we go?" I said. "I don't know," said Hester. "You don't have to be back for ages." "No, not till this evening." "Do you know of any film?" "I can't think, suddenly." "It's hopeless, isn't it?" "You're getting wet, Dick. Come in out of the rain." "Well, what shall I tell him?" "I don't know. Anywhere, it doesn't matter. You're getting soaked." "Shall we go to my room?" "Yes, why not?" "Shall I tell him, Hester?" "We might as well." I gave the man my number in the Rue de Cherche-Midi. "I can't think why we've never thought of that before," I said. "There's always been something to do," said Hester. "Well, it's a great idea anyway," I said. The man was a fool about finding the number. He kept peering about him, and he went a few yards too far. I tapped on the glass, and he pulled up the wrong side. "Oh, it doesn't matter," said Hester. "Which door is it? We can run across." It was still raining hard. She bent her head and ran, laughing, and crouched in the doorway, and when we were inside she took off her cap and shook the rain out of it. "Are you wet?" I said. "No, not very," she said. I led the way upstairs to my room. I was afraid she would think it was awful. I mumbled something about it being untidy. She came in, swinging her berry in one hand and her balloon in the other, and she looked round and peered out of the window, and saw vaguely what it was like. "It's nice," she said. "Oh, it's not bad," I said. She sat down on the bed, her back against the wall, and the balloon floated up to the ceiling, staying motionless in one corner. I gave Hester a cigarette, but I did not sit down. I moved about the room. It seemed odd, having her there. She made it different. I knew it would not be the same when she had gone. I was shy and awkward as if we weren't ourselves, and suddenly I did not know what to talk about. "I wonder how long it will go on raining," I said. "I don't know," she said. We might have been two strangers in a dentist's waiting room. I felt she ought to be turning over a magazine. I sat down on the bed too, swinging my legs on the floor, forcing a whistle. Our cigarettes gave us something to do. I turned and looked at her, and I could not go on being stiff any more, so I put my arms round her, and she smiled, and we weren't shy and strange then, but ourselves again. "Oh, darling, I love you so much," I said, and she held me very close, and I kissed her eyes and her mouth, and she clung to me, and we lay down together on the bed. I said, "Hester, darling Hester," and she said, "Yes?" And I said, "Can't I love you?" She said, "You are loving me." "No," I said, "really, I mean." "Oh, Dick, why?" "Because I want to so terribly. I can't go on any longer, sweetheart. It's impossible. I must." "No, Dick." "Yes, darling, yes. Let me. Say you'll let me." "I don't want to." "Oh, darling, it's because you don't know. Please, darling, let me." "No, no." "You don't care about me?" "Oh, Dick, it's not that. You know it's not that. What is it? It's... I can't explain. Suddenly, like this, it's not... I don't know. Darling, you're making too much of it. It's nothing, my love, it's nothing. It doesn't mean a thing. Oh, Dick, it does. No, darling, not a thing. I love you so, you needn't be afraid. I'm not afraid. You won't have a baby, I promise you. It isn't that. Oh, darling, let me. I can't not. Darling, please. I don't want it to be like this. When I've imagined it... Oh, Dick, it's been different, it's been lovely. We've been away somewhere. Not suddenly in your room like this. Not the daylight. Hester, what does it matter where it is? I want you more than anything. Whether it's a room or a wood or it's night or it's 11 in the morning, none of that counts, darling. You don't have to be afraid of anything, darling, I promise you. Not a thing. You don't understand. Oh, don't go on thinking and worrying, Hester. Forget everything you've ever thought about. I love you so much. So much. No, Dick, please. Yes, darling. Yes. You've got to let me. Yes. I don't care. It was still raining. I stood looking out of the window, smoking a cigarette. I could hear the bell of a tram as it stopped in the boulevard Montparnasse. The sky did not seem to have cleared at all. It would be a wet evening. Outside on the parapet was the stump of a cigarette I had smoked the day before. I watched a blind blowing backwards and forwards on the second floor of the house in front. Hester was still lying on the bed. She was staring up at the balloon that hung from the ceiling in the corner of the room. It did not seem to move at all. I chucked her a cigarette, but she did not take it. I wished she would not look so young. She had never looked so young as this. I went on, gazing out of the window and smoking my cigarette. Hester was sitting up now, pulling at her dress. Why did she have to look so young? I did not know what to do. I did not know what to say. She glanced up at me and smiled, and she seemed a child, with a child's smile. I wondered whether she expected me to sit beside her and take her in my arms and kiss her. If only she would not look like that. If only she were different. The rain kept on all the time. Hester looked up at me, waiting for me to be the first to speak, waiting for me to do something, to say something, as though in some strange way she asked for comfort. I did not know what to do. I threw away my cigarette. "Oh, hell," I said. "Let's go out and get bloody drunk."